In this video, you'll learn about tables. In Lua, tables are a very important data structure. They let you group similar variables together or create base objects with named attributes. Tables can exist in one of two methods of access: indexed arrays and key value pairs. Indexed arrays are a series of related variables that are accessed in a numerical, indexed way. Let's say you have a list of the top 10 rock bands of all time and you want to rank them from 1 to 10. A table would be a perfect way to accomplish this, but first we need to learn how to create a table. In Lua, tables are created using curly braces, such as local myTable equals open curly brace, close curly brace. This creates an empty table named myTable. When accessing an array-based table, simply reference each entry with its index number inside square brackets. Because we associate a value with each index, i.e. Led Zeppelin for index 1, Lua will assign that value to that position. Here's an important note. In Lua, tables indexed as arrays start at number 1, not 0 as in some other languages. Conveniently, the same notation can be used to read a value at a specific index. For example, print myTable index 1 gives us Led Zeppelin, print myTable index 3 gives us the Rolling Stones. Notice how the final attempt to access index 6 logically returns nil because no value has been assigned to that position. You can determine how many entries are in an indexed array table using the hash or pound operator. For example, print open parentheses pound myTable close parentheses. Given the example table, this will output 3 since we've added just 3 entries to the empty table. Knowing the number of items in a table allows you to insert items to an existing table without necessarily knowing the total count. Assuming we've started an empty table instead of the one we've already populated, the following method will yield the same result. In the first line, pound myTable returns 0, so adding 1 makes that index 1. On the next line, pound myTable is 1, so adding 1 makes it 2, and so forth. Indexed array tables can also be created using the shortcut method, where each value is separated by a comma. White space doesn't matter in this case, so each entry could be on a line by itself if it's easier for you to read. The values that you store in an index table can be any valid Lua data type or variable, including functions and other tables. For example, the table within a table structure allows you to design multidimensional arrays. Lua tables can be built using key value pairs. This allows you to access items by the key or name instead of by an index number. For convenience, Lua supports two methods of indexing via name: the square bracket method and the dot method. Let's look at each. In this code, square brackets surround our keys, which are being assigned values. The same table could be written like this. In this example, our keys are still being assigned values, but this time the dot notation is being used. Internally, these methods yield the same result, and it's mostly your preference which one to use. However, there are some subtle differences, and for certain cases, only one method will work as expected. For example, if you wish to create a key name that is based on another variable, only the bracket method will work. In this example, we create an empty table T, then we create a variable K with the value of myKey, and use that variable within square brackets to add the key, myKey, to the table with a value of OK. As you can see, the result is as expected. However, note that the dot method will not work in this instance. As illustrated in our multidimensional array earlier, putting tables inside of tables can be very useful. Let's extend our student record table by adding the SAT score to it. SAT scores have a verbal, math, and essay component, so we need 3 values. This is also known as a nested table. For the sake of this lesson, notice how the math key is added using the bracket method instead of the dot method, but it yields the same result in this case. Similar to the indexed arrays, there's a shortcut method of adding key value pairs. In this example, student record is populated with a comma-separated list of key value pairs. This accomplishes the same thing as the previous example in an easy-to-read format. In Lua, you can mix both indexed arrays and key value pairs in the same table. In this example code, we are declaring a nested table at position 1 and position 2, while also adding other key value pairs. While Lua allows for this mixed declaration method, an important observation is that you cannot count key value pairs in the same way you count items in an indexed array. Let's see this in practice. Note that this yields 0 results even though the table contains several pieces of information. As we stated, tables consisting of key value pairs cannot be counted using the pound operator. If you create a table that mixes both array indexing and key value pairs, the pound operator will only count those values indexed numerically, not the key value pairs. In fact, key value pairs do not occupy any specific position in a table, even if it may appear that they do in a shortcut declaration. For example, note that Lua only counts 2 indexes in the table because we've declared my favorite fruit as a key value pair. Of course, there are methods to count the number of key value pairs in a table, and there are additional methods to insert, remove, sort, and otherwise manipulate the items in the table. These will be covered in future videos. And that's a look at how to work with tables in Lua and Corona SDK. Learn more about tables in Dr. Brian Burton's book, Learning Mobile Applications and Game Development with Corona SDK, available from www.burtonsmediagroup.com/books.